So the real challenge of traditional field scouting is really the mobility factor and the fact that it requires maybe a couple hours even for a medium-sized field to adequately scout that. The other thing that's an issue obviously with traditional scouting is the fact that you don't really truly understand the extensiveness of an issue as you see it. When you scout it, you're seeing the randomized samples, you really don't have the full understanding of the field. So our approach at Syngenta to improve the current scouting operation is to include a drone imagery in our scouting by our partnership with Sony and using a Sony camera, using NDVI imagery, RGB imagery mounted on a drone, allows us to get highly detailed imagery that's not dependent on when a satellite flies by, and you also are not limited by cloud cover. So it really allows us to better understand the extensiveness of any issue in a field. So our requirements for drone remote sensing are really, at the very least, having that NDVI imagery. That NDVI imagery really tells you where to scout, where are the differences located in the field, and really helps us to prioritize, okay, scout in this area first, and then scout in this other area that's maybe better, and be able to compare the two. The Sony solution really also has RGB imagery, which helps you ground truth without actually having to maybe walk out there. So you can compare the NDVI image where it looks bad and look at the RGB to see what is actually causing it to be bad, and also then ground truth if you have to.
When you look at most of the American countryside where all of our agriculture, of course, happens, connectivity isn't great, right? You don't have 4G everywhere. I mean, you might be lucky to have 3G in some places. And having a system that's capable of operating offline and not using any kind of signal while we're actually out in the field is important.
One of the real benefits of the Sony solution is the fast stitching. And really, when you're scouting a field, you want to make a decision in field using the best data that you can gain quickly. And the Sony solution with the fast stitching allows you to stitch a image within 10 minutes. When I really think of how we can use it looking forward is specifically in a replant decision, because replant is always limited by weather, usually wanting to get the crop in as soon as possible. And the Sony imagery really allows you to have that high resolution data at your fingertips, make that decision very quickly, and replant within that same day. As far as sharing these field analytics with the grower, through Fast Field Analyzer, there's a method to create regions of interest, points of interest, and provide the NDVI values for those regions and come up with a recommendation that you could type out in a report very professionally. And I think that's going to be a big benefit, obviously, to have that instant analysis, be able to have a professional report that you can provide to that grower. The Sony solution is very easy to operate. We've had college interns operating it and training within a day and flying on their own after that. So very, very simple to operate. The number of acres that can be covered using the Sony solution under normal conditions, using the kit that Syngenta provides, where we have 6 batteries and you can recharge 3 of them, we're looking at close to 1,000, maybe 1,200 acres per day.
Right from the drone imagery, it gets automatically uploaded to farm shots. And in farm shots, you can actually write a variable rate recommendation right in the system. So you can do your scouting once you've got it on the laptop. Bring that out into the field with you. You've done your scouting, you know what's going on in the image. Bring that back, share it with your grower, or let's say your agronomist. And the agronomist can then write a variable rate recommendation once that imagery reaches farm shots. You take that spraying map, you put it right back into the sprayer. The sprayer can go out and do an application and show you the analysis afterwards. And then you've completed the full loop. You've identified a problem quickly, quicker than you would have if you had walked through the field. You've treated that problem more effectively. And now you have an image afterwards, if you want to go take another drone or satellite image, that shows you the effectiveness of that application.
It's a data-driven solution, and again, that NDVI image is strictly data-driven, right? It's not an opinion, it's not somebody saying, okay, this is what you should do. It's data, and it tells you the extensiveness of the issue. So again, I think as you think of how a farmer thinks, gathering opinions, the Sony solution and the NDVI imagery it provides is really that data solution, right? So I think that's really where it fits in.
I mean, the vision at the end of the day is to create better farms, more profitable farms. And the idea there is we want to take the farm shot satellite imagery, use that to identify the fields and the areas where we might want to go fly the drone, go ahead and fly the drone, take that imagery, hand that off to the grower or agronomist, and have the analysis done there, figure out what's going on, how do we optimize our applications, and then go through all the way to a full application, just based on that funnel that kind of gets down to your decision. And the idea there is we want to build better farms, we want to build more profitable farms, and this is really a good way to take a large amount of acres, boil that down into something that's usable and information that we can actually make a decision based on, and make that decision and save the grower money or make them more money.